it's Mustang here bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so now that the anniversary is drawing to a close, we will be getting the final event of the anniversary, which is the 8th anniversary battle on what is technically late Sunday night, early Monday morning for me in the UK. Normally just late Sunday afternoon, I guess, depending on where you are in the US. But that is the final event of the anniversary. So I posted this tweet last night. As you can see, it was nearly 9 PM my time. This is being recorded at 5 PM my time. So it's been up for about 20 hours now, almost a full day. And I basically said, now the anniversary is wrapping up, what were, of course it added in an apostrophe, good old autocorrect, what were your overall thoughts on how it was? Were you losing hype and it turned out better than you thought? Or were you disappointed? And then, yeah, we're going to make this video. Because I know a lot of people with the anniversary being one of the only celebrations really in the game now, because they are obviously at a specific date to celebrate the actual anniversary of the game. This is one of the only things that we do still have to wait, basically the full 6 months. Because a long time ago, like a few years back, Global was behind JP by about 6 months all the time, and I think 5 at the shortest. But obviously now we often see stuff coming to Global way quicker, but the anniversary is still one of those things that takes like 6 months to come to Global. So a lot of people do lose excitement for the anniversary, because obviously not only do we get to see all the stuff from the JP creators when they come out, but then they're using those units not only in new events that might come out, you know, between then and the anniversary on Global, but as new units come out on JP that the anniversary units can then be run with or on their teams, then we see them in even more videos. So a lot of people do get kind of, they lose that edge of like the excitement for the anniversary. So I just wanted to see, as it's ending, what you guys were thinking. Obviously there's a lot of replies on this, so we're probably not going to be able to go through all of them, but do follow me on Twitter at @TheMaskedNingen. Go and check out the thread if you want to see some of the other replies that maybe don't get featured in the video, or if your video, your comment doesn't make it into this video, or you're only seeing about this now, just leave me your response down below in the comment section. And do go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already while you are there as well. So there's a few quotes, we'll jump into those very quickly. So we've got one here from Thad, shout out to them, big Turles fan. So I'd give it a 6 out of 10 personally. So we're going to scan through this. There's a few, okay, they've gone into a fair bit of detail. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but main headliners in terms of kit were great. Buu Duo is easily the most beautiful LR this year. Definitely aesthetically very cool. But even then they had issues which made some people downplay them. GT Duo were cool for the standby. I mean, GT Duo, people didn't like the pick of it being like a base Kid Goku, but the unit is really good. Carnival LRs, I did like Kai Goku, not just for his kit, but since I felt nostalgia from him. Yeah, a lot of people, maybe younger people in the audience, might have even seen Kai before the actual OG Z. And then obviously Kid Gohan's quite nostalgic for people that grew up on Dragon Ball Z. They said just like everyone else, I didn't have much of an opinion on him. The main issue isn't just hype, but how they don't fit at all and could have been 7th year instead. Incredibly bizarre and a letdown to all of those who hyped for Omega or Kid Buu, or sorry, hoped for Omega or Kid Buu. Somebody else does mention this in a reply as well. I think it might be Goresh, but the part 2 units do not fit the theme of Spirit Bomb, like at all. They just decided to say, I actually know the theme for the part 2 LRs is the show openings. Obviously the Kai Goku does do a Spirit Bomb, but Gohan has no connection whatsoever. And I know a lot of people, especially because the anniversary usually does introduce at least one extreme unit, a lot of people did hope for Kid Buu or Omega. The EZAs were good. Blue Fusions honestly carried the hype of the anniversary for me, and Sin was a decently difficult boss, even if I know I item'd it without any 2023 units. I mean, this is one thing. A lot of people were saying, oh, you know, global players are saying that Sin is easy, but they're using all these units that came out before the anniversary. But I've seen plenty of runs of people doing Sin with no units that weren't available at the time on JP when the anniversary happened. But I think it is just one of those things for global. Even if you don't have newer units, you've obviously seen videos and screenshots on Twitter and stuff like that of people beating the stage. So you do already have a bit of an idea of what to expect, right? Decent anniversary. I liked the 7th year more. If you wanted to give you a 10 out of 10 celebration, I'd say cooler worldwide. I mean, that is still, I think, considered one of the best celebrations in the game. Oh, and then unfortunately, bad luck on the summons as well. So you hate to see it. Mr. T, well-known troll, found it boring. I mean, this is a guy that we trolled in my stream chat because he didn't even do the discounts on the part 1 banners. Peak Anniversary got everything I wanted and had fun. Fair enough. That's all you can really ask for from a mobile game for a lot of people. I will always like global anniversaries due to discounts and tickets. Always good for global. But this one was great by itself. Content was spread out well, so you always had something to do. Blue Fusion's EZA were very hype and they delivered well. And of course, I also pulled GT Duo and Kid Han, so that ups it more for me. Now, this is the thing that a lot of people, it'll be interesting to see how many people do or don't like this. I have mentioned on streams and stuff, I do like the way they spread out the content. Because for me personally, obviously as a creator, it's nice to not have 10 things that you have to do on one day in terms of videos. But I think for casual players, which a lot of the time people forget are kind of like the main market for mobile games, because not everyone is playing Dokkan for multiple hours every day. So in a celebration, if tons of stuff drops all on day one, if you're one of those players that you do it all on the first day, then you're not like the majority or not the target audience, I would say. A lot of people play this game maybe 30 to 60 minutes a day. So if everything drops on day one, they're not going to have done all of the new stuff, you know, until maybe a week or so later. So having the content staggered like this, where a few things come out every couple of days, I think is pretty good. Although on the other hand, I would still argue they still need to bring out more content. So like, you know, dropping 2 EZAs, like for example, Blue Kaioken Goku and then the Spirit Bomb Goku, that's all well and good, but then they didn't drop with anything else, and then something else came out like a couple of days later. I think this is where, as we've talked about many times in the past, they should do things like when those 2 EZAs dropped, also add like a Super Saiyans mission to Red Zone Broly and Red Zone Metal Cooler Core, for example. And then for Blue Kaioken Goku, add like a Reps of Universe 7 or Universe Survival Saga or something mission to, you know, a Red Zone stage or 2 Red Zone stages. Something like that, where you just add a mission to an event to beat it with a category, is something that would be really easy for them to just add in. And it would be good to go along with these things like EZAs, because then you actually have a reason to use the unit that just got an EZA, right? It went by so fast, but it was definitely my favourite anniversary ever. Okay, fair. I've seen a lot of people saying they prefer the 7th one, so this is interesting. My opinion on the 8th anniversary hasn't changed. Still love the amount of content we got, and the new units are really well designed. Mostly the 8th years and the Part 2 units, yeah. I was able to pull 2 copies of the Buu Saga and 3 copies of Goku and Vegeta, so I'm happy. Fair enough. And then we have, what does this one say? Worst anniversary in terms of hype overall, uninteresting content and difficult modes not up to last year's power creep. I mean, that is good though, right? Like if we got red zone level power creep every year, so like every unit you'd pulled up until the ones maybe just before the anniversary were now all unusable, I don't think people would enjoy that, right? I hope the download celebration will do better, because it was really bad. The only interesting thing was the Z LRs. So I'm assuming they mean the 5th anniversary LRs. So this is probably the most negative opinion so far. But yeah, there you go. So those are the quote tweets. So we have Goresh, 7 out of 10. Objectively speaking, there was a good amount of content, but not enough difficult content. Yeah, because realistically, Sin is the, you know, the hard event. People struggled with Nova and Ice because mainly the rotation locking. But other than that, whereas compared to the Red Zone, you know, where we obviously got more stages overall, I can kind of see that, right? So, Part 1 units were well designed for the most part. I thought the Buu Duo were a strong pick character-wise. Part 2 was a dud. I like the Carnival LRs, but not for the anniversary. I don't like how they used the Carnival format as an excuse to split the banners onto separate banners. Because, yeah, remember, the last anniversary, before Carnival was even a thing, it was just 2 LRs on the same banner, like it always used to be. And it was the Kaioken Goku and the Great Ape Vegeta, and they were just both on the same banner. So realistically, them being 2 separate Carnival banners, there was no real reason for them to do that, because this was a thing that was introduced with the worldwide celebration, but it was introduced by there being a Carnival LR banner and a Dokkan Fest banner live at the same time, and then 2 separate ones in Part 2 as well. So in the anniversary, there wasn't really any reason for there to be 2 separate Carnival banners, which is a very good point. Also, the argument for both the Part 2 LRs fitting the theme is weak. Yeah, exactly. That's what we said, right? They don't fit, like, the Spirit Bomb theme. So that is very true. So shout out to Goresh. Dre, personally, I'm satisfied with the anniversary, although for my money, and this is very unpopular, I actually think the 6th and 7th anniversary were better. A lot of people do think the 7th was better. I wasn't enamoured with Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta number 4 as a headliner. The EZA batch I felt could have been a lot better handled. And I feel that the free-to-play units are trash. I mean, they are definitely not very good. 7th anniversary, I mean, Barbary could be okay. 7th anniversary had better content. 6th anniversary had way better free-to-play units. That's very true. Consistently good EZAs, including the free-to-play ones. 8th anniversary definitely had the biggest EZA peaks. Yeah, because obviously we got the 5th anniversary LRs. Vector, my opinion has not changed a bit. Funnest anniversary and unit design in the game's history. Well, there you go. Vector, is that another known beta Vector tweet, or do you agree with this? Let me know. I mean, I think the unit design was fine. I know, for me personally, not super hype about it being a base kid Goku, or GT Goku, because I hate the fact that Goku has turned back into a kid in GT. I think that's super lame. But the unit themselves, the GT Duo, is incredibly good, right? So I kind of will have to let it slide. It's about the same as other anniversaries to me, says Kev. Lots of rewards, shafted free-to-play units, part 2 units that cause a lot of discussion. I mean, that is kind of, yeah, on track for an anniversary, I guess. It's good. Same thoughts as on JP. Only one hard event, which is what hurts it for me. Yeah, that's fair. We got like 5 real challenging fights last year, more if you count Baby and Rildo. Because, I mean, yeah, some of the other Red Zone stages, the first like 3 of each, I guess, weren't very hard. The other ones at least had their gimmicks that could make them a bit tricky, like Super 17 absorbing Key Blasts and stuff. But really, Omega and Broly were the main ones. Even like Janemba and whatever the one before Broly, the Shadow Dragons, wasn't that bad. Sorry, before Omega, wasn't that bad. My boy Miri, disappointed. Content was good, although not as good as last year. But the choice of this is someone, me and this Mr. T guy have spoken a lot behind the scenes. They hated the choice of the Buu Duo and the GT Duo. Which, I mean, for me personally, I love the Buu Duo. I love Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan 3. I love the physical Super Saiyan 2 Angel Vegeta LR that has the Super Saiyan 3 Goku unit Super. So obviously, for me, the Buu Duo was a really cool choice of a unit. But yeah, lowest stones I ever spent. So shout out to Raldo. Apart from biased shaft moments, I feel like the love for the anniversary units has been revitalized on global players. This usually happens every year. I mean, it does happen, right? Like I said at the beginning, people's hype starts to wear out. And it does happen even to me sometimes. But once we get to the countdown to the anniversary, I kind of start to feel that hype going back up. So, this is it was very enjoyable throughout. All the hard content, the EZAs, the units, everything was great. So there you go. Gogeta, terrible. Rainbow, the Buu Duo and GT Duo. I'm assuming that's just a meme reply. I don't know. The 7th was an axe they never planned to beat due to the significance of 7. Maybe during the 10th we'll get another anniversary of EX part and stuff. That is an interesting theory, that the 7th anniversary, they always wanted it to be the best one because of number 7. But I don't agree with this, right? I don't think at any point, you know, someone had ideas for the 8th anniversary that would have made it even better. And then someone else in the team was like, oh no, we can't do that because the 8th anniversary isn't allowed to be more hype than the 7th anniversary. I definitely don't agree. That seems like a weird, like, tinfoil hat moment. But the theme started strong. Part 1 LRs were awesome. Part 2 units were a miss. Yeah, free to play, not being themed, exactly. The odd imbalance of Buu Saga content versus GT. Content was okay. Yeah, one thing, I don't know if someone else did mention it in a comment on here, but it was weird that the difficult content, so last year we had the 2 separate red zones, each one obviously clearly being linked to one of the anniversary units, right? Movies and then GT. But this year we got the Birth of the Shadow Dragons event. Why was there no like hard Buu Saga like themed event? That's kind of weird. Most of the time boring. I just hope Worldwide goes in a different way. It's not, a lot of people seem to be, it's very much, I know this happens a lot with Dokkan, I guess. It's very much to the extremes. Like, people think it was really good or really bad. And there's been a few people that have said, you know, like Goresh, it's like 6 or 7 out of 10. But most people either really liked it or really didn't like it. So... Personally, I had the chance to drop all the new characters, but I did not feel any difficulty of the events. Yeah, I mean, again, this is kind of like the global thing, right? Like, even if you don't have the characters JP didn't have at the time, we kind of have, just by being, like, just by existing in the community for these last 6 months, you kind of know all about the event. Whereas if it's dropping fresh and you're playing it for the first time with absolutely no idea what's going on, you've never seen any videos, you've never heard anyone talk about it, it's obviously going to be a bit different. But obviously that's not the case for everyone, right? You might have gone into it fresh and still found it easy, but Kelbert, it was boring. The only time a celebration is fun is when we all experience it at the same time. This being delayed. So, I mean, this is kind of a thing. I feel like this isn't a fair criticism of the anniversary, because he does say the only time a celebration is good is when it's the same time celebration. So even if this was the best anniversary so far, by this comment he's saying by default it's not good, which, I mean, I get it. Like I said at the beginning, the burnout is real, but I don't necessarily agree with that. 9 out of 10, great celebration. Absolutely horrible, in my opinion, Part 2 LRs. Needed to be Kid Buu and Omega. I mean, the thing is, though, look at the LR Omega that we did get eventually. Imagine if that had dropped as a Part 2 LR for the anniversary. I think people would have been very disappointed. And if Kid Buu was on the same level of quality... I mean, imagine if Kid Buu was just like Omega, but tied to Margin Power, which I guess is at least a better team, with the STR Super Buu EZA and future physical Buuhan EZA, but even so. Blue Fusion's EZA makes it a W, yeah. The flow of the celebration, every couple of days new content, is something I definitely agree with. No Margin Buu Saga Red Zone and only Shadow Dragons was a huge mistake. Yeah, so this is kind of the thing I was saying. The free units are horrible, all other things were good, or at least solid, fair. Fun anniversary, love all the units, Kai Goku is goated. He is definitely very good. The absolute worst part was the free-to-play units. JP had a world tournament, so they had a better selection of free-to-play units during the anniversary. All Global got was Hercule and a mid-Barbady that wastes one of Majin Vegeta's most iconic moments. Yeah, people really don't like this. Even on JP, people did not like this. But remember, the world tournament just happened to happen during the anniversary. It can't really be counted as... So like the World Tournament EZAs, they do not count as anniversary units, right? Because they came out on Global like almost 2 months ago now or something. But I guess it did make it feel like more stuff was coming out during the anniversary, which would be a positive for JP. I enjoyed it a lot, loved the summonable units, the content, the OSTs. I kind of wish the free-to-play units were good, especially Majin Vegeta. If they were good, the anniversary would have been a 10, but 8 is what I give, fair enough. It was alright, not amazing, but definitely not bad, plenty to do. My luck was oddly insane for some reason. I think I would have just been happier with more hype units, now that's fair. Least hype anniversary in a long while, in my opinion. It's also the first time where I haven't pulled a single anniversary unit, so that may play a factor in my personal hype. Dev's inability to create multiple good teams this year has let me the least interested I've ever been in this game. That is something that I am a bit worried about, right? Because, like, there's been some fumbles. Super 17, Turles is way better than people think. But obviously, like, Super Trunks on JP at the moment, most people are disappointed. I think Worldwide really does have to knock it out of the park, because there has been way too many disappointing releases within a short time, I think, this year. So I feel that that is concerning. Hopefully, if Worldwide Celebration is even on the same level as the cooler one last year, then I think we'll be all good. And if they somehow manage to top it, then that will be fantastic. So... good, not as good or hype as last year, but only Vegito could have matched double Gogeta, fair. Lots of stones is good, Spirit Bomb stages were kind of bad. I mean, it's a good thing you could do them with with older units, right, like LR Gohan, even physical GT Goku. Shadow Dragons event was fun, EZAs were great, best part of the anniversary was the Blue Fusions. Yeah, I think a lot of people think this, especially if you weren't personally hyped about the pick for the LRs. Like the headline units, so a lot of people super hyped for the 5th year fusions. Content was spread out well to keep the pacing feel like content was constant. Yep. DFE units with the standby skills are fun and exciting. Carnival units didn't feel they matched the theme but are fun to use. EZA units were actually usable and fun. Overall 8 out of 10. I mean, I kind of agree with most of this, yeah. Well, I do agree with most of this for the most part. It's only really the free to play units that were disappointing. Zero hype going in, but was pleasantly surprised and had fun. Not the 7 year, but still a massive W. Oh, there you go. That's good. Seeing someone who not hyped going in and changed their mind. That's definitely interesting and good to see. I was fine with everything and had fun, but I was severely shafted in my summons. Over 1,500 stones and all the rainbow tickets. The only new unit I got was 6 copies of Ice and Nova. Oof. F's in the chat for Daniel. That is brutal. In terms of events, it was amazing. Very good distributed around the whole celebration, giving a lot to do in comparison with the other anniversaries. Carnival units were good. EZA for the 5th anniversary and the 2 Spirit Bombs were the best part of the celebration above the 2 new Dokkan Fests. Yep, fair enough. Amazing celebration, but the hype doesn't match the 7th anniversary. I know that for a lot of people, 7th anniversary was like peak, right? Apart from potentially the cooler celebration. I had fun. Luck didn't hit too crazy, but I've been waiting on these Spirit Bomb units for ages, and they did so much justice. The Easy A's were everything, especially the Blue Fusions. We got some new events that are solid. W Anniversary for sure. L Carnival banners like always. Fair enough. Let me see. A lot of events for Stones. Spirit Bomb events were fun. Majority of the Easy A's are just L's to me. Homeless Easy A Super Boo, Dead Slot Super Magneto, and Mid AGL LR Super Saiyan Goku. I mean, that's unfortunate, right? Because like Easy A Super Boo is super good, but yeah, he still needs that like peak Margin Power team or something. And then yeah, physical Super Vegito, hugely disappointing. 1 to 3 hard events is fine. Free to play characters are disappointing. Overall 7 out of 10, fair enough. Same thoughts as JP, it's fine but lacking hard content. Only one honk hard content stage is not enough. I mean, again, I do think people underestimate, like, if you're going in even with relatively good teams, Ice can be super annoying with the rotation locking, but I mean, that is what we would kind of refer to as artificial difficulty, right? Because if he didn't rotation lock you, the event isn't really hard at all, but... And then, yeah, why didn't we get another hard content stage focused on the Boo or Margin units? That is true. Part 2 banners are not really hype. Why no category missions? Yeah, we should, again, this is something I mentioned earlier. Adding category missions for stuff. They should just be doing that constantly, right? Waiting for those anniversary battle for the stones so I can try one last time to get the gods. I was blessed to get a single of each minus Int Gohan anniversary LR. Damn. Overall, good celebration. They really got to make the free-to-plays as good. Yeah, like, nothing is topping that Roshi in terms of on release, right? Like, the 7th year LR, that Gohan, Goten, and Trunks, they weren't even good when they came out. Barbady is okay. I found he can be quite useful on the Piccolo Junior team because of the extreme int, but yeah, they're going to have low usage beside their required Easy A stages. That's fair. I think it's possible we get a global exclusive part like we did the Tech Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I think it's very unlikely. They might be doing that to keep some hype coming, since I'm sure everyone knows what is coming. I don't know, because it would have to be like a surprise Z part, or like, what did they call it before? The EX part? Because like the anniversary event, which we know is the final event of the anniversary, is already in the news. So I don't think we are getting a surprise thing. It was an 8. I wasn't expecting going into it, but it was better than I expected. I mean, 8 for the 8th year. Fair enough. I really enjoyed the anniversary. Got most of the desired units. Overall good events and good content with great Easy A's. If I could change one thing, maybe better free-to-play units. See you for Worldwide Celebration and good luck with the summons. Hey, I appreciate you. Good luck to everyone. Hopefully Worldwide is good for everyone when it comes to the summon luck. It was a decent couple of good events. Some nice units. Easy A's, a lot of free stuff. Free-to-play units could have been better, but hey, it's Dokkan. Solid 7 out of 10. Couldn't pull Goku and Vegeta or Goku and Vegeta. Still had fun, but would have been nice to get one of the new anniversary units. It is good to see people, though, that don't use the bias of like, well, I didn't pull the new units, so the celebration sucked. Because a lot of people do say that about the celebrations, right? Personally, for me, the anniversary was close tie in how hype 7 year was, excluding summons and solely focusing on content. I think the 8th year beats out the 7th year. 7th year introduced a huge power gap that made 99% of the game unrunnable, and I think it ruined a lot of players' views on it. That is quite an interesting thing, because yeah, the red zone really did make a lot of units just like unusable, right? So bring it down. 8th anniversary was cool and all, but I felt like I had way more enjoyment out of the 7th anniversary. Overall, the characters they released, along with the hard reset that was Red Zone. Biggest thing is Sin versus Broly, and I can say I enjoyed Broly more than Sin. Fair enough. Having new units is good, but using them in difficult game modes is better. The difficulty was non-existent. I do not ask for power creep like the 7 year, but a minimum anyway. 14 out of 20. No one's given it an out of 20 rating, so there you go. That's basically 7 out of 10, but... Only thing I was disappointed with is pulling 5 LR Goku and Vegeta duo from the Cooler movie. Didn't have them and not the GT duo. I guess at least you rainbowed them, right? From 0, but no GT duo. That is unfortunate. As the whole, I liked it. Really liked the part 1 and part 2 LRs. I think I was the only one hyped for Gohan. Now, there were some people for sure. Gohan is really good, but yeah, a lot of people not hyped for him. When it comes to difficult content, we didn't really need more. We just need a lot more category type missions. Yeah, exactly. Like Shadow Dragon event on its own would have been fine, but like maybe add some category missions to like the Ice and Nova stage, then Sin drops, and then maybe like a couple of days later add some missions for that as well. I think that would have been quite good. Disappointed in the shaft I was handed, but the celebration was okay. Content and easy A's were pretty good, but nowhere near as much as the 7th. As a celebration, it was fine. That's really all, though. Worldwide 2022 is still the best celebration Dokkan has to date. I definitely would agree with that. So hopefully, Worldwide Celebration 2023 is going to be on the same level, if not higher than the cooler one. So we're almost at 25 minutes recording time here. We've almost done. There's still quite a few replies, so I'm probably just going to leave it off here. Like I said, if you want to see some of the other replies, do go check out the thread on Twitter. If you did leave one and it didn't make it into the video, I have read through them, but obviously feel free to leave a comment on the video here, or if you didn't see this tweet, maybe you don't use Twitter, just leave a comment down below in the comment section and let me know what your thoughts were on the 8th anniversary overall. Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? What would you rate it out of 10? Let me know down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.